One of the big initiatives in Tanzania in order to develop the legal profession and develop legal education has been to introduce what's described in Tanzania as learning by doing, or increase the emphasis on group work and interactive learning. I think it's something that actually traditionally in Tanzanian education there's not a lot of interactive learning. It's been very much teaching from the front, lecture style delivery, without really much interaction with the students, without many questions to the students or students contributing as such. And the government themselves made a conscious decision to support the growth of this learning by doing. And obviously it has huge benefits from a learning point of view because it increases the amount of learning, it increases the amount of student retention, and it also ties in really well with developing young lawyers in communication skills and confidence and all the sort of skills they're going to need for the role. I think one of the most exciting things about that whole thing is the fact that there is tremendous potential and tremendous talent in these teachers, and it was fantastic to be able to work with them and develop their skills in these areas. The second part was teaching the students, and as I say, we wrote and then delivered the materials to the students on one of the things they find quite tricky, which is the whole awareness and skills of professional conduct and ethics. And again, it was a pleasure and a privilege actually to teach these students, because students come from a huge range of backgrounds, but what you have in that room, in the same way you have with the tutors, is enormous potential, enormous ability, perhaps relatively low levels of confidence, perhaps a lack of the skills of applying law in the practical context, but tremendous commitment, tremendous ability, tremendous enthusiasm for the law, and tremendous enthusiasm in a way for growing the reputation, growing the knowledge base, the skill base of the legal profession in Tanzania, and trying to grow that and establish that. Teaching over there is a challenge, there's no question about it. And I think one of the key things to recognise over there is that you are teaching in a different environment. So it's really important to be adaptable and to be flexible. It's an African environment, but to rejoice in that, and I think it is the most fantastic pleasure and privilege to be working with these enormously talented people, whether or not they're students, whether or not they're teachers. It was a surprisingly insightful experience. I don't think I ever expected that I would learn as much from the Tanzanians as I actually did. Again, this inherent creativity in both students and teachers, enormously valuable, and for me personally and professionally, I think it's probably the single most important and profound development opportunity I've ever had. I think it's grown me in ways that I'd not expected, and it's an experience I would totally recommend to anyone. It's a bit of a cliche, but there is no question that you can make an enormous difference by being part of a project like this to the students, and in my case when we did the train the trainer, to the teachers and to the growth of the legal profession in Tanzania. Boundless enthusiasm is a great quality. I think flexibility and adaptability is important, and I think a passion for making a difference, and a passion for helping people. I think those are the key elements. I don't think it's difficult to be enthusiastic over there. They're such fantastic people. They have this tremendously positive and optimistic view of everything. And I know my colleagues who work with me and the groups I've been part of, I think we all reflect on what a rewarding experience it is. But I do think sort of those qualities are quite important. And I think in any teaching environment, patience and recognising the fact that people work in different speeds, but the fact that we can actually coach and mentor and develop these latent talents and really drive their development process forward. I think I'd just like to close also by reiterating that from the perspective of a volunteer, I couldn't praise ISLP enough. Tremendous enthusiasm, tremendous support in all aspects of actually getting prepared to go over there and also being there. They make the process really smooth and are tremendously encouraging and supportive. And I'd also like to take the opportunity of thanking BPP Law School for their total support to me over the last 2 years, for giving me this opportunity and giving me the ability to be released both in 2010 and 2011. I'm enormously grateful to the law school for supporting me in this way and supporting me in this unique opportunity, and I'd really like to thank them and ISLP.